everybody. Welcome to another brand new episode of the Top 10 Show. I am John Roca.
I am Matt Nost, and it's another beautiful day in Southern California here, and sun is setting, you know?
Yep.
The day is getting short. It's beautiful out.
It's nuts now how quickly it becomes dark and how quickly it becomes light. It's kind of weird at this time now. I mean, I'm still not used to it. That at like 5:30, it's getting dark out there. And it looks pitch dark by the 7 o'clock. It looks like it's midnight at 7 o'clock. It's very, very strange for me, man.
It sucks. It's the worst.
Yeah.
I'm sure we've bitched about it in years past. Daylight savings is the worst. And I don't know why we do it anymore.
Yeah, it's weird, right? Like, why?
I don't know. It's the same thing as like, technically metric is the standard that was adopted by Congress in the 70s.
Yeah.
But everybody just went, fuck it, man. I'm lazy and I like imperial, even though it doesn't make a lick of sense. It doesn't. It's so frustrating. Like, how many quarts in a cup? Well, it shouldn't go the other way around. Maybe it does go that way. Maybe there's a special quart cup thing.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell you how many liters in a gallon. Yeah,
it's really weird how that all plays out, man.
It's so dumb. Yeah. It's so dumb. The country we got it from moved on to metric.
But we're stubborn. We're unique.
How many feet in a mile? I might as well ask me how many grains of sand there are on a beach. I don't know the answer to that. I'd be lying. I know I knew it at one point, but it was such a stupid piece of knowledge that it is utterly gone.
If you're not going to be in jeopardy, I don't know what the point is of knowing that, to be honest.
Which, on the flip side, I will fight to the death that Fahrenheit is superior to Celsius.
Wow. Okay.
We'll fight. Right. Their argument is every time, if you ever had this, is okay, well, what temperature does water boil at? And I'm like, I don't know that because it does it 100 at Celsius and freezes at 0. And that's the benefit. It's super simple. And it's like, yeah, but how often do I need to know the boiling temperature of water in my life? I'm guessing 0 times. Whereas freezing, I need to know what freezing is because we both lived in cold places.
Yeah. Yeah. And you never know, you might be caught on a ship and sinking. So you need to know how cold it really is in the water before you climb onto that headboard with Kate Winslet. That's for sure.
The hell difference is it's 22.1 out there. What the fuck does that mean? What does that mean?
I don't know.
And if you can't get the points, the difference between 1 and 23 is drastic.
Yeah.
It's like, it's 2 degrees technically cool. Oh, it's way balmier today. It's shitty. I'm sorry. It's Fahrenheit is superior. You just got to remember 32. That's it.
Some people hold on to that science shit, man. They science the shit out of stuff like the Martian and stuff. Like they hold on to it. They got to know. They got to be a part of it. I respect it. It's just not something that's ever drawn my interest or my attention, for God's sakes. So
what part? Just
science in general, bro. Like completely. I was never good at in high school. Terrible at it in college. My first trip through college, and then just has never. I'm always amazed at people who have a natural ability to understand science. It just isn't my game. Math I can figure out. Science, for whatever reason, always eludes me. Chemical stuff, temperature stuff, what should conduct with what. Never have a natural interest in it at all. You know, it's like what do you call it? Like fixing shit. Like I don't have a natural interest to get into underneath a sink and try to figure out why a sink doesn't work. I'm like, there are professionals who know how to do that shit. I'll let them do it. It's not.
Yeah, but that's not science. They make that shit so easy. You should learn how to do that. I'm just saying, not talking down to, it's really not difficult. The average, if you can buy it at Home Depot, you can do it.
No,
legitimately,
you can do it. You have a legitimate ability to do it.
Well, yeah, but you have to start small and then you learn whatever that is. Oh, I know how to do this now.
Okay.
And then it's just like, okay, that's in the bag. I know how to do that. And it's fucking, you just progress beyond. You can figure it out. Trust me.
I can build shit. That I have a natural ability to do. I don't have a natural ability to fix things.
Then you can fix it too. You can.
I don't know, maybe. If I build it, will he come?
And that has nothing to do with science unless you want to get into the science of how it actually works, but not really. Your fear of or lack of success at science, it doesn't have anything to do with the sink, unfortunately.
To my mind, it's like, well, troubleshooting the situation, what's going to go where, what fits in where. It's like, isn't that science?
Engineering,
I guess that's a good point. That's what I mean, probably. I'm smart about a lot of other things, man, but for whatever reason, that stuff eludes me.
But back into like the chemistry and whatnot, sure. I think honestly, I didn't begin to like enjoy reading about it until I was older. Because in high school, your brain doesn't really, it's not able to comprehend exactly, well, the average person, I guess.
Right. The average brain.
And you can't really visualize what they're talking about.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Like, you know, it doesn't, we can go down that path. But I think as you get older, you're like, oh, why is this? Just the natural curiosity about things. And at least I do.
Yeah.
I gravitate towards, and then you find out and you just kind of get deeper and deeper into the fucking rabbit hole.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
And then you have basically very little knowledge about all kinds of different stuff. So it's really helpful in life.
Well, we're about to record. We're recording this right before Thanksgiving is happening. Matt, are you going anywhere? Are you guys doing anything? Do you celebrate Thanksgiving? Like, what's your approach to this holiday now?
Dude, huge kegger at a friend.
Oh, nice. Cool. Nice.
Can't wait. I haven't been to a keg party in so long. When was the last time you went to a keg party?
The late 90s at college.
Okay.
I didn't go to any in LA. That ain't my jam.
I've been to places that have like a small keg here. Yeah. But it's like 20 of your friends hanging out. It's not a kegger. I don't know what movement that is.
You got that one dude pumping the fucking keg.
Oh, yeah. I used to sit by the keg.
Yeah.
I literally did. It's the easiest way to meet people there, but also it's like you and a buddy sit there and you always have a beer.
Yeah, yeah.
And instead of having to fight through a line.
Right, you look cool sitting by the keg because it's like you're almost like in charge of the most important thing people need to get to at the party. So by osmosis, you're kind of one of the most important people at that party.
I don't know how often I ran the keg. I might help with like a pump every once in a while, but it's more so just like I can get beer whenever I want. So
therefore, I'm
going to stand next to the keg. And invariably, I was friends with a lot of the same people that had the same thoughts. So you would see one of 4, 5, 6 of us.
Yeah.
Up there. Fuck yeah. Yeah, that's where the beer is. I'm going to go hang out by the beer.
For me, it was I always like when I go into a party, man, I always like to find the most comfortable area and then sit there. Once I go there and sit there, then I can relax and enjoy the party. If I can't find a place to feel comfortable kind of putting down roots at a party, then I start to kind of spin away. And then eventually after an hour, I'm out of there. I can't stick around. So for me, I always try to find the most comfortable couch or the comfortable seat and just chill out there. And when I was younger, I used to be self-conscious about it all, dude. Oh my God. I was terrible about those things at parties. I was just like so nervous around parties and nervous all this kind of shit because I was always uncool in my mind. And not that I'm cool now, but like I was uncool in my mind back then. But then as I got older, you kind of, let go of some of that. And now when I go to parties, I'm just like, fuck it. I'm supposed to be here. I came. Now I'm comfortable in a chair or comfortable in a location and I can just chill out there. And if you want to come talk to me, you know where the fuck I am. And if you don't come talk to me, I can amuse myself just fine. The whole time. So we have to go.
I like it. You're picking a fight with imaginary people at this party that you just made up.
I'm not picking
I don't need you. Fine. Stand over there the whole time. It's fine.
Yeah, knock yourself out.
Or are you
know where I'm at.
Exactly. I don't know why you're dictating terms on this fucking utopian party that apparently sucks. This party sucks.
It's controlling the interactions. It's the way I am. I went to a party with a girl one time years ago, a friend of mine. Well, I didn't know her at the time, but she had a great plan. She went to this party that was 2 levels, only knew a couple of people at the party. Attractive woman. She sat in a chair in the middle of the room. So when you walked into that room, the first thing you noticed was her. And so and she sat there and she never moved from that chair except to go to the bathroom or whatever. But like people would come into the room and they would immediately be drawn to talk to her because she's sitting in the center of the room. And I thought this was fascinating. This was the way to do it. Like you just sit there and you're like, I'm in the most like it's the most spotlighted thing in the room. So you have to come to me when you walk into this room, or at least recognize that I'm there, like acknowledge that I'm there.
Wow.
Like, yeah.
My first thought would be, what a dick.
I don't know.
right in the middle of where people need to be walking, and you just plant your chair so you can be the center of fucking attention. Get the fuck out of the way and sit where the seats go.
Hey, it worked out. A lot of dudes went up to try to talk to her. A lot of people.
I'm sure that
it worked out.
That doesn't count though. A lot of dudes will walk up and try and hit on all kinds of things.
Oh, that's fair. That's fair.
So she didn't have to try that hard if she really didn't want to, my guess.
Oh,
a room full of drunken college age guys. I can't imagine it wasn't just knocking dicks out of your face all night.
I just watched it like a social experiment. I was sitting in the corner or farther away, and I had met her before, but then I just planted myself on one of the soft couches, and I was just watching this happen like a National Geographic special, man. Watch the humans as they come in to interact with the female, and it just watching the whole thing, and I'm like, this is fascinating. Watching dudes try, watching dudes get rejected, other dudes talk, and then eventually find their moment to kind of, hey, so can I get your number? Blah blah blah. So I've always marveled at people that do that. You know, I've never had an easy ability to do that. So I would always watch other people do it and be like, wow, that's pretty incredible. I can't do what you're doing.
Yeah, well, you're not in those environments anymore. So
long time ago, man.
No, I used to have a buddy that every once and again. Okay, so think of smartest kid you knew that you hung out with, like got good grades, and he was in really good shape. So he partied with us, but at the same time, like he went to the gym, he ate right, he did all the things you should do, and go out drinking. He was a lot of fun, like just good dude. 5 times through college, 6 times. I just hear him like I'm sitting on a couch. Hey, no, check this out. And I look around, and he's got his dick on like my shoulder.
What?
And
what? Wait,
you laugh every time because it's the one dude who's never misses a class, works out, like nicest guy, and he would just pull his dick out and be like, no, what's up with this? Oh my motherfucker. But he would wait. He would wait like 4 months.
Oh, of course.
And then do it again. He wouldn't do it all the time because then it's annoying and it's gross. And why do you need to constantly keep taking your dick out? What is fucking wrong with you? Whereas drunk as a joke, I'm going to laugh. I'm going to laugh if you space it out for long enough. I'm not in those environments anymore, so I don't know how funny I'd find it now. But then I'd laugh my ass off and be like, you fucking got me, dude. Yeah. Again, put your dick away. This is not funny anymore. It's kind of funny, though. And he always made us do it in usually the most crowded room he could find.
Right.
Because I think my guess looking back, the excitement of it is what, he was into.
Yeah. Yeah.
But nobody else would usually see it. He would do it so discreetly. So it's just kind of like, boom, what about that? We're in the middle of 35 people right now.
Oof. Yeah, I never did.
Yep, that's your dick. I've never done that.
Yeah,
but
wouldn't even occur to me. That's crazy.
Me either. I'm surprised being around military. I've had more military guys do more, come up and try and slap your balls nonstop. Gotcha. You got nothing, motherfucker.
Military dudes are crazy, man. Yeah, I when I was serving, it was exactly. I that kind of stuff. I tried to shy away from. I had a guy. We had a guy in our platoon who enjoyed like peeing into other people's showers. Like he would, while you were showering, he would walk into the shower or pull the curtain up, and he would just start peeing into your shower. And I'm like, what the fuck are you doing, man? It was crazy shit. Dudes are crazy about their dicks, man. They're fucking crazy.
There was a kid on my dorm floor that pooped in one of the shower stalls and then used his, he had shower sandals on, but he used his sandals just to mash it into the drain. And you're like,
oh my God.
There's a toilet 7 feet away, man.
Yeah. Dude,
7 fucking feet. I didn't see it. Like it got cleaned up pretty quick. I heard about it afterwards. And you're just like, what? Why? What kind of fucking animal? You're not even drunk. You're just an asshole. Like it's one thing if you're drunk and you're like, dude, that's stupid. You're an idiot. It's another when you are stone cold sober and that was a calculated decision on your part to shit in a shower stall and then mash it in. Like that's so gross. Like, gross. I'm
almost done with my shower. I've got to go really bad. I'm just going to do it right here.
That's a bullshit excuse.
It is. It really is.
It's a bullshit excuse when there is a toilet 7 feet away.
Oh, mind blowing, man.
Max 8 feet. I mean, there's 2 shower stalls at the end of the bathroom and there's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah. And before you say like dudes are disgusting, I've talked to quite a few women about some of the shit women pull in bathrooms.
Yeah, they got their own stuff.
Woo, it's nuts. Some of the stories I've heard from some of the women I've dated. about the stuff other women pull in those showers and in those toilets and in those common areas. You're just like, holy Mary, mother of God.
If you're just sitting there and there's a used, tampon or fucking maxi pad just right there, and you're like, oh, that's so gross. That's so gross. But I'm sure they've seen so many of those.
Oh yeah,
had to. If you ever use the bathroom at a bar, they've got a little box over on the side, but that thing is disgusting. I felt bad for the guy that had to clean it at the club. It's like,
that's a smelling salt right there. You just come right back to life.
I would imagine you got a system for that, so you don't need the shock of the smelling salt. It's one of the few areas you work out a system for first. It's just guessing.
No thanks.
Yeah, but I mean, it's not that dudes are gross. People are gross.
Human beings are gross.
People are gross. So then you take the average dipshit, throw a dart. It does seem like more often. I've heard more stories about dudes doing just things that makes you go, just why?
All right.
I can't even process what your brain, the fucking dominoes in your head that link together that you thought this was a winning idea. I got a billion stories like that from dudes. Girls, it does happen, but it seems much rarer.
Yeah. True. Well, I don't know how we segue into our list for today, but
you know how we do it? Magic. Watch this magic segue.
Please go ahead.
I'm just saying that's it. It's magic, and we're into the show.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, that is our show today. We're doing the top 10 movies about magic. That's right, magic, wizarding stuff, abracadabra,
magic
all that kind of
in
stuff.
the movie.
Magic. Yeah, exactly. Magic has to have been in the movie. It doesn't. It may not have to be a central part, Matt, but it has to be.
Yeah, but they got to use magic at some point.
Yeah.
And we limited only one per franchise.
Yes, true.
So it's not going to be certain British movie fest or a certain New Zealand movie fest or a certain limit our options there. So we spread the love around. Talk about some movies we never talk about. I know I'm forgetting stuff.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there's got to be ones.
Oh yeah. You and I both will probably forget a number of them.
Yeah, on this one, because once I started thinking about it, I was like, that counts, that counts.
Yeah.
So I know flat out I'm missing some stuff.
Yeah.
I have to figure out a different lighting situation. This is another shitty thing about daylight savings. I don't have proper lights set up in here. There are no real lights in here. So boom, it's just going to get a spotlight on me in a black background. Ready for my close-up, Mr. Roca?
All right, well, let's do it, man. Let's get into it. How does the show work before you go fully dark? How does the show work?
Once we set a topic, we go our individual ways and show back up here. I do my bottom three. He does his bottom three. I do my next two. He does his next two. Then we trade one apiece. Once we revealed our personal top 10 list, we create the shows between the two of us.
Boom.
So oodles of choices.
Yes.
Whatever you got, I'm down for. It should be a fun show.
Yep.
10, I just chose because I think I'm forgetting, but I chose The Mummy.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Where's the you mean this him coming to life?
Yeah, they use the Book of the Dead, and it's just all this magical. Okay, exactly how does this do this? I mean, it's a religious ceremony, but it seems like magic. And they saved his sacred organs. If you're saying it's not because they don't directly have a wizard or something, I guess. If you want to fight me on that, but it's such a weird list anyway. So
this is a fun list to come up with. So I'm not going to fight you on any of the choices. I don't think, unless it's way too out of bounds. I'm cool.
Egyptian suffers on a lot of levels is the same as Romans do. There aren't a lot of good movies about it. It's another reason I want to put it on because
good point.
It's tough to find. Of Egypt, Stargate.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Stargate.
X-Men Apocalypse was terrible. I didn't see the Something in Gods with Rami Malek right before he won his Oscar.
Right.
I think was that Gerard Butler?
Yes. Gods of Egypt or whatever it was called, I think.
Something like that. Something generic.
Yeah.
I never saw that because it just looked terrible, and then it came out in January, and you're like, "Yep, that answers that question." A movie with that big a budget, that much CGI, it was not meant to come out in January.
Yeah.
It's meant to be like, potential. Maybe this does 150 million summer box office randomly on some week in fucking August.
Yeah, make sure.
Yeah,
that's true.
It's version of the Megalodon. Except Meg was somehow, I guess, better because they still gave it a prime location. Once again, I've never seen the Gods of Egypt or whatever the fuck it's called. But Mummy, Do you think that really sold Brendan Fraser to the world? Because he'd already existed by that, but he did kind of do this flip because he became beloved.
Yeah. I think that's the one that catapulted him into that level. It was that film that catapulted him to like superstar level. He's seen George of the Jungle and these other films, but it was The Mummy that people were like, oh crap, he could lead a franchise. And it always is weird to me why he never quite got there fully with other things. I mean, like right now, you could make a case that he'd have been a great Superman. You could make a great case that he'd have been a fantastic Superman at the time because he's a good-looking dude. He's in great shape. He's got that smile, that smirk. But he does The Mummy, and then he does like Dudley Do-Right and Bedazzled and Monkey Bones, which is nothing. Then does The Mummy Returns, which okay, great, he's back into prominence. But then does Looney Tunes Back in Action, Crash, which he isn't that big of a part in Crash.
But it did win an Oscar.
It did win an Oscar, sure, but like 300 people were in that movie.
The Tailor of Panama.
Yeah, that was good because that was a nice
good in that.
difference.
I mean, look, before he did all that, he had School Ties, so he's got this like smaller indie movie credentials.
Yeah. Mrs. Winterbourne. Yeah, he built his Airheads. People liked Airheads.
I like Airheads.
He kind of built his status as kind of this actor in smaller movies, independent films, and then really blew up with The Mummy, but never was able to fully turn that into anything. No,
which is weird because if you ask the average person that watches movies, they like Brendan Fraser.
Yeah, they do, and he's a damn good actor, man.
He is.
Yeah.
And I will say this: the piece gets more and more believable. As technology improves, age. That piece looks better and better. That's
true.
Imagine Sean Connery if he had access to those pieces early on.
That's right. That's a good point. But the last few years, though, he's come back into prominence with The
TV.
Affair. Yeah, Trust, which was great. The Doom Patrol and Professionals, all those being really well received, and him getting a lot of, plaudits for his great work. So, yeah. Sometimes it's just the way it goes. Maybe he just didn't have that inclination to go and try to be one of those mainstream stars. Yeah, maybe it wasn't for him.
He had a shot though, and it's just weird to see it didn't really materialize beyond that.
Very true.
My number 9 is Labyrinth.
Still a film I have not seen. So knock yourself out.
Okay, so the fact of the matter is, I don't think you would like it.
Yeah, probably at this age, I don't think I'd like it. Yeah,
because I showed it to Catherine. Who's it should have worked for 1000%. She saw it like 4 years ago, and halfway through she's like, do you want to finish this because I'm good? And I've seen that movie so many times, many times. But I could understand, I could tell she wasn't enjoying it, so I already knew it didn't capture her imagination, so to speak. Right. So I was like, yeah, I'm fine with. So I don't know if you would like it at this point because my babysitter rented it when we were younger because we used to go and get movies like that all the time. Okay. Just go to the local VHS store, some mom and pop with like paneling on the walls, you know what I mean? Those generic racks, and you just walk through and at that age, I was grabbing cool covers and being like, what is this movie about? Type of jazz. Right. And Labyrinth was one of the ones she chose to rent, and we watched it, and I've loved it ever since. But I don't know. You may enjoy it. It's got a lot of fun and whatnot, but it's a puppet movie with David Bowie, and it's got a darker edge to it. Yeah, Jennifer Connelly and a cod piece. David Bowie's cod piece, apparently. It's huge. It's ridiculously huge. It's one of Lindley's favorite movies, and she's always surprised that I've never seen it. But at some point, maybe I'll break down and do a little it has binge. Not to say that it has a Tim Burton-like world, but it has its own fleshed out version, like he is able to do, or Wes Anderson or whatnot. It has a real sense of its own identity, which is good, I think. But I will be intrigued. I think it's got a nice dark edge to it. There's some real terror because the Goblin King steals babies that no one loves. Ooh. And if they aren't rescued within 24 hours, they're turned into goblins. And those are all the goblins that surround him. And all kinds of, exactly. For a kid's movie, that's pretty fucking dark when you think about all these goblins are former kids.
Right. It's
Depending on what age.
It's almost like the Pinocchio thing where the kids get on that island and turn into donkeys. Yeah. Interesting. Okay.
And he's got the right amount of menace, but it's got the right, it's got a good amount of heart, but there's still this dark undertow underneath. I think it's still successful personally, but couldn't believe it halfway through. And she's like, I'm good. It's wow, really? It's got good songs. Yes, they're puppets, but they're so beautifully made that you don't give a shit. Like the acting on them is excellent. Some are wearing like full prosthetics and others are, you can tell they're fucking puppets.
Yeah.
But it's really good. There's only whether it's fire eaters, fire walkers, fire something. You can flat out tell that it's someone stood in front of a green screen and they put in a separate animation thing for the background. It looks bad. It's like Harryhausen-esque. You can tell the shift, but none of the rest of the time can you?
Yeah.
But yeah, if she loves it so much, then I think she might be able to sell you on the magic of it.
Yeah, maybe. We'll see. NeverEnding Story is one I won't go back and watch. That's another one of her favorites.
Not good.
It's just like
it's melodramatic. Yeah. I don't know. I liked it as a kid. Now as an adult, it's too much. I'm happy like Atreyu dies. I wish Atreyu would die sooner because I hate the like all that whole chunk through the movie to me is nappy time. I'm out. Yeah. This fucking sucks. This is not the fun you're setting up to this really. Yeah, I didn't care for it.
Yeah, I hear you, man. Absolutely.
And the magic at the end. Yeah, you could keep us going. Just keep believing. Oh, fucking stop. Close the chapter on this. Let him die.
Let him die.
Number 8 for me is Willow.
That's a slight punt.
Okay.
So yeah, but good choice, man. All right. My number 10 is Oz the Great and Powerful.
Okay.
Is that a punt at all, or is that on your list?
We only said one per franchise, so I did not choose Oz the Great and Powerful.
Okay. I don't really see it as part of the franchise because it's a completely different thing without any of the actors from the original. Really? But I mean,
is it really? It's the same fucking franchise, man. There is no return to the Oz the Great and Powerful if there is no.
But there's no
movie
Dorothy.
That shall not be named. I don't give a flying. You tell me they're two separate, distinct, different things.
Hold on, let me see here. I might have to break the rule. No, I don't have anything else, man. There wasn't that many that I. Well, there aren't that many that I would. Let's see here. Maybe I can find something real quick. That I did.
Let me give you some suggestions that potentially may have had some of these others.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, no. Oh shit. No, you know what? No, let's kill it. All right, that's fine with me. I can kill it because there is another thing that I do want to put up on this list that I think is fair to put on this list, actually. All right. Yeah. All right. Let's do it. So then my number 10 is Houdini, the 1953 movie with Tony Curtis and Janet Leigh. And of course, he's well known as a magician. So it's Houdini.
It's fucking Houdini. Name me another magician from that era.
Yep, there really isn't. There really isn't. But yeah, it's a film that I grew up watching and seeing on Saturday afternoon TV or whatever. And it's Tony Curtis and, of course, Janet Leigh, his wife. But it tells the story of Houdini. And for the longest time, I thought this was the way he actually died, doing a trick on stage. The water torture trick that he does. And then someone kind of tried to someone rigs the trick so that it keeps him in the water longer than it needs to. And either Janet Leigh or somebody kind of screams when they realize that he's actually going to die, and they shatter it with an axe and he spills out of it and he has some final words to his wife and then he passes away. I thought that's how Houdini actually died. I didn't know later he found out that it was something in his chest or a heart attack or something that happened.
No, he got
punched.
So
yeah.
He got punched in the gut. So he had super duper strong core muscles because he was, regurgitating things and whatnot, just doing and always being bound and everything else. So the story was he could take anybody's punch to the stomach. Didn't matter how big and strong you were, his stomach muscles were so strong and he would do it for people, but he had to like tense his muscles. And apparently this dude hit him before he was paying attention.
Oh,
and it just straight fucked. Like he came in, clocked him, and he died because of that.
Right. Okay. All right.
Yeah. That's
sense.
the story as I've heard it. I don't know if that's true or not. I wasn't there. Fake news. Could be.
Fake news. Oh, fake news.
I don't buy that Houdini died like that. I like your version much better.
Yeah, I mean, like that's the thing that I don't understand sometimes. Some of these stories they twist around and turn around. So, in the end, that's where I go with that. So yeah, Houdini was really good. For those of you who are classics watchers, this is one that you should put on your list for sure. I thoroughly enjoyed it and loved what happened there in the movie. And if you haven't watched it in a long time, do yourself a favor and watch it. It'll actually be something fun for you to enjoy. All right, so then if I can't have Oz on the list, which I'm really mad that you took it off my list.
It's your list, man. I just one per franchise. I understand the distinction you're making, but I think it's I think it's negated by the overall, and you agreed with me.
I did.
Otherwise, you would have put up with a fight.
It's true. You made sense. Then my number 9 is Hugo. Do you remember Hugo?
Yeah. I've never seen it all the way through. It's not that I have anything against it. I just haven't seen the first 45 minutes.
Yeah. This is a pretty awesome thing. I loved Hugo. Scorsese directs it. Yeah. Scorsese with Asa Butterfield and Chloe Grace Moretz and Ben Kingsley. And Kingsley plays that old filmmaker who did that trip to the moon. Yeah, French Georges. What's his name? I forget George's name. Mathieu, something like that. Let me see. I'm looking up. Oh, Georges Méliès, and all the things that happened there in this train station. You got Sacha Baron Cohen as this kind of like inspector who is trying to capture Asa Butterfield and capture Chloe Grace Moretz. But they look through the book, and the book is what brings the old films to life, the magic of the old films. And that's where he goes back in time to see Méliès as a young man, because Kingsley is old now, fixing watches or fixing things at this kind of in this train station. And so they go back in time to remember when he was an incredible creator who essentially laid the foundation of film going forward and was instrumental in creating these films. And of course, at that time, you're not living the way that that people do now as a director. People like Chaplin were the rarity, not the standard.
Yeah.
And so like somebody like Méliès, especially at the beginning, was not. So it's a great magical trip into the past as obviously a love letter to film from Scorsese through the eyes of this kid. And I think it's based on a book as well.
I think so. I think you're right.
Yeah, John Logan adapted. It's based on Brian Selznick's book, The Invention of Hugo Cabret. So, but dude, it's one I go back to watch, and it's one of these anomaly Scorsese films, Matt, where you like when you think of Scorsese, Hugo is rarely the first thing that comes up, or even the first few films in your mind that comes up. But it's still a damn good job by him as a director to have such a deft touch to tell this child's story, and of course connected to Georges Méliès. And Kingsley does a great job.
And to try something 3 decades in.
Yeah, right.
Directing at that point and be like, I want to do something completely different, which is really interesting. Because there are certain guys that do it practically every movie. And we're like, all right, I'm going to try and make this.
Yeah.
And it's audacious.
Yeah.
But to see another dude that has a winning formula as far as contentions for the best movie that's made that year, and it's like, you know what I want to do? I'm tired of that. I'm tired of crushing over here. I'm Jordan, and I just got my 3rd championship. I'm gonna go play baseball. I'm like, all right, maybe he's good at baseball.
Yeah, maybe he's good at baseball.
I want to believe that he could. We saw, Neon Dion play 2 sports. Bo Jackson played 2 sports.
Yeah, that's a good
Basketball's
point.
a little different.
Yeah, that's a good point.
But I've only seen like the first 45. So,
okay. Well, I would encourage you to finish it if you get a chance to finish it. If you get in the mood to finish it, I would encourage you to finish it. All right. So then my number 8 is the Pixar offering Onward that happened.
Okay, Sure.
Yeah, because I mean, he's got the magic in the stick, and it's of course a magical
Yeah,
world.
full on. Yeah, it's they've got griffins and that one woman that's the night manager of whatever that joint is.
Yeah. Oh God, I forget what character. What? Wildebeest, some sort of wildebeest.
Yeah, but she's a griffin, so she's like a lion with wings, and
right.
But she's more a middle-aged woman. The general manager's a restaurant now,
and she used to be like this really powerful,
mythical.
Yeah. Now she's like running a restaurant.
Oh yeah, she's got an HR department type of shit.
You gotta work. But I really enjoyed this movie, man. I didn't expect much from it, and when I went to see it, really enjoyed the chemistry, voiceover wise, by Tom Holland and Chris Pratt, and Julie Louis-Dreyfus almost steals the movie in every scene she's in. And I really enjoy the fact that they're trying to figure out how to have 24 hours with their dad again. I got really emotional at the end, having lost my father. And so whenever those moments are done well in films, they really do affect me. In this movie, it did. Plus, I really enjoyed the idea of someone who is kind of a mess up in his life versus someone who's always doing the right thing, how sometimes the difference between these two people are not as stark as you think. And there are some things that need to be worked out on both sides, because you can be too much of a stickler and you can be too much of a laid back person. And so the fact that they found a way to come together, and the sacrifices that are made by both of them, because they love each other as brothers and they don't hate each other as much as they may fight sometimes, I found to be refreshing. And I thought Chris Pratt playing that character was very refreshing as well. And when the magic happens, when it does happen, it is really well done by Pixar, really smartly done by Pixar. And yeah, you're not going to put this one up with Toy Story or anything else, but it does deserve a place on a list like this for me. Top 10 films about magic. So,
it's, full on about magic.
Yeah.
I was just disappointed.
Okay. All right.
It felt more like a DreamWorks than a Pixar.
Oh, yeah, I could see that. Yeah, I could see you feeling that way about it. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
It's nothing against it, but DreamWorks doesn't pull at my heartstrings like Pixar is so effective at doing. And this one just felt like, I don't know, I wasn't as connected to the characters, I think, by the end of it. Because there have been other movies like Coco, I think, is too long.
Oh, yeah, Coco. Yeah.
I'll be damned if that final Remember Me doesn't get me every single time. Single time.
Yeah.
Whereas the rest of the movie is like, we could really cut one of these musical numbers and whatnot. But the end is like, dude, you got feelings, right? Well, get reintroduced to them all of a sudden.
Yeah.
You didn't expect that, did you? Just Onward, I wanted to be that. And I wasn't. By the end, I was like, oh, that's cool, I guess.
Okay. All right. What can I do? Can't do nothing but respect your
point of view. I know. But if you do have the extra resonance of that story, means more to you because you can identify more with it.
Yeah.
And, sad as it is to say, I'm thankful that I can't yet on that level.
Fair point. Don't be sad about that at all, man. Please.
I know, but I don't want to say that like in some gloating.
No.
Yeah, I know. But
people know we're good people, man.
I know, but even to say it to like to put the thought into the world, it's like it has nothing to do with that. I'm thankful that I thought this movie wasn't as good as others did.
Yeah. Okay.
On that level.
All right. So then what's your 7? We're up to your 7, I think.
7 is Spirited Away.
Oh yeah. I knew that was going to make your list. I wish I loved it as much as you do, man. I don't, but please go ahead.
I think the parts it really works for me. It works so wildly successfully.
Yeah.
That I'm willing to, there are aspects of it kind of drag ever so slightly for me, but I think overall about 90% of the time it's humming. And I think it's very magical and inventive, and it's a unique storyline. And I have a connection to that little girl as she kind of goes on. She grows up a little bit because she's distancing herself from her parents because whatever else, the metaphors of them turning into pigs, and the selfishness, etc. But to show her be so compassionate towards everyone around her when it could end up causing her harm, it felt honest.
Yeah.
As opposed to, we'll make a really, basically a character that saves the cat every opportunity. And that can get tiresome. Whereas because it was from a young child, or a young a tween, I don't know what she would have been, 10-ish, something like that.
Yeah.
the earnestness just has always felt honest and genuine and believable to me. And I think all the stuff with dealing with the spirits and the baths and all the characters that she runs into there, the woman that owns it / runs it, her weird giant-sized baby that eventually get morphed it's to like a hamster, and then the other one is a fly or something, but then they become her companions and they grow up along with her. I just think because of that, it has for lack of a better word, magic to capture my attention that way. But there are a couple scenes where I'm like, I don't know, this feels like just stock anime-ish, or not anime. I don't know what the right word is for it.
Yeah, I think that's right, isn't it?
Well, I don't know. I'm not as well educated, so I'm sure I'm getting it wrong. But anyway, Spirited Away, that's my number 7.
All right, fair enough. All right, what's your number 6?
My 6 is Kubo and the Two Strings.
Oh yeah, dude, I wanted to put it on, and I almost put it on and took Houdini off. But I mean, we don't talk about old movies as much anymore, and I just wanted to put that on there. But I love Kubo, so yeah, please go ahead, man.
So it's when they get it right. For me, they really get it right.
Yep.
And even when they get it wrong, a la Box Trolls or Missing Link, I still have things that I appreciate the living hell out of, especially in Missing Link. I think that movie is pretty dull.
Yeah, but I agree with you. It's kind of dull.
Yeah, but I'll be damned if it doesn't. That is the most beautiful claymation. Just the cinematography, the choice of certain scenes, the scope of it for claymation, that is mind-blowingly impressive.
Yeah.
And Kubo actually has a nice mix of the two, because they have the fantasy elements and they bring in like that ghost dragon type thing that is his grandpa, but also the smaller moments, the look of the monkey character that was it Charlize Theron?
Charlize Theron. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and then McConaughey's the beetle type of character.
Yep.
But they're origami that come to life because he's got a magical instrument type of thing. But it's, I mean, man, that's why I'm always jazzed when Leica's coming out with something else and be like, when you crush it for me, it is a grand slam.
Yeah. Yeah.
The only one I don't think I want to ever rewatch is Box Trolls.
Yeah. Yeah. That was kind of disappointing.
Yeah, I was just bored. Whereas at least Missing Link is a feast for these eyes.
Sure. Visually, it's a pretty incredible film. And the voiceover work is good too.
Yeah. The voiceover is always good. I'm not denigrating that. I just found the overall story in Box Trolls just boring as all shit.
I was expecting to like it too.
Yeah, me too. I saw it opening weekend.
All right.
At that point, I was like, I'm a fan. So I'm going to go if I can remember that it's coming out, but it's a lot easier with apps and shit these days. You know, back then I had to look online. I didn't have a pocket held, reminder of what movies are coming from kids. I had to use a website. You know what I mean? All 10 digits to type shit.
Fucking that is. Do you know what that even is? A website, your children.
It's the worst. You guys have no idea. So yeah, Kubo and the Two Strings is my number 6. What do you got?
My number 7 is Willow, which was the punt from earlier.
Okay.
A slight punt. I like the movie. I still go back every once in a while and enjoy it. Certainly when they announced that they were going to do the sequel, which I'm confused how they're going to make that work, but I mean, I hope they get it right. But this is one of those Ron Howard offerings that goes into the legendary pile, but it's certainly not, but it's funny when you talk about people who like love and respect movies. Willow, when they talk about Ron Howard, isn't one of the first films they bring up most of the time. But if you're from a certain time and you grew up with this movie as a kid, it is one of those ones that you feel a nostalgic love for. So there's nothing wrong with that. Val Kilmer, a young Warwick Davis, and Joanne Wally Kilmer in this as well. It's a great story. It's a fun story. People have been clamoring for a sequel for 30 years. And it's a very sweet story as well. And there's some great action, some great like old school medieval stuff, and the magic involved in it as well. All of it just really works. It's a very 80s film, but it's a very 80s film in a good way. Yeah.
For those, because I got friends that are the same age range and they hate that movie. And every time I'm like, I love it.
Yeah.
I remember seeing it in the theater and just thinking it was incredibly good. I went back and watched it not that long ago, like a couple years ago.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I understand the flaws that people point out.
Right.
but the magic of the stupid acorns that freeze things and the two-headed beast that they have to square off against, and Val Kilmer just swarthily delivering these great little one-liners. Although I was already a fan, I believe he'd done Real Genius before that, so he already. Yeah. Although Top Secret, I didn't see until after I saw these.
Oh, okay. All right.
I didn't know it existed. I was a Naked Gun fan. And like, you ever seen this? And I was like, oh no. Which would have more than likely even more cemented my love of Val Kilmer when I was a kid. It's like, dude, this guy could do it all. He could do the action. He could do the drama. He could do the comedy. He's handsome.
Dude, he was the best. Well, I'm saying, I don't want to say it in past tense, but you know.
He's had a rough couple of years.
Yeah.
And that sucks.
Yep. Got that throat cancer, and he's apparently in the new Top Gun film, but I imagine he's in the coffin, which you see in the trailer. So it's a shame overall, but you know, it's whatever. What can you say? It's a shame, but he leaves he'll leave a legacy when he passes on, or if he never acts again, he still leaves a legacy with the incredible films that he did in the 80s and 90s, and even up to Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, which is kind of the last time you really saw what he could do as an actor.
MacGruber.
Oh yeah, I don't. Yeah, right. All right, fair. I'll respect that. I don't think
for later. That was right before he got cancer.
That's true. That's true.
So he was kind of having like a little bit of a resurgence where it's like Val Kilmer's coming back around.
Yeah,
like I'm in on this.
MacGruber.
You'd hope he get the Michael Keaton kind of treatment.
True.
Because he's a good actor. Apparently he was, difficult on some sets.
Yes, but so was Brando. So, what are we talking about here?
Yeah. Brando's still a little difficult.
Yeah. So,
I don't see the point of Brando's.
Well, yeah, I hear what you're saying. I don't see. Yeah, right. You're right. What's the point of being
why make it miserable?
Yeah, right. It's tough enough trying to make it all work. Why add to that?
Yeah,
right.
They are already treating you as if you're God on this set anyway.
Yeah.
So what? Now you need them to fear you as well? Like
you're literally called talent. You're literally called talent. No one else is called talent on a set but the actor. And so if that isn't enough for you, then what's wrong with you?
Yeah. And then amongst actors and directors and writers and producers and movie studio people, he's Marlon effing Brando.
Yeah. Right.
So they're all like, it's Marlon. So they already fawn over everything you do for them to make them worry about the fucking just ridiculous emotional swings of a petulant child.
Yeah.
Whereas Kilmer's, I think he was the main one I know is Island of Dr. Moreau. Oof. But that seemed like a miserable experience for everybody.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know if he instigated or just followed the lead of others and be like, fuck it, I'm not having a good time either, and just started acting like an asshole.
Yeah, maybe. But also maybe he was just feeling himself at that time.
Maybe he was.
He's prime Kilmer at that time, man. I mean, he's about to be Batman or right after Batman. So he's got that vibe that he is like king of the world,
Yeah, wow. Is it right before or after? What do you want to say? Right before or after?
I say right before. Yeah,
I think right before.
Yeah.
You looking it up?
Yeah, I'll look it up right now. Let's see here.
Right before. Okay, hold on. Before you look it up.
Okay.
Let's go even closer. How close before do you think it was?
1 year.
6 months? 1 year?
1 year. Yeah.
1 year.
That's what I would say.
Batman.
All right. Let's take
I'm gonna say like 14 months. I'm gonna go just a little over you. My bid $2 is what I'm saying.
We're both wrong. It is after Batman Forever. And it's after Heat, bro. Ooh.
Wow.
That is tough.
Wow. Yeah.
Mm.
I would imagine Brando came in swinging, acting like a jerk.
Mm-hmm.
They're out shooting on location and what seems to be like a nice place, but maybe it was muggy every day and there's mosquitoes nonstop and all that jazz.
Right.
And he was like, that dude is awful. I am so pissed off. Yeah. I want to believe that because all you hear from Brando is Brando.
Yeah.
He acted like this a lot.
Yeah. The documentary, if you haven't seen the documentary, I can't recommend it enough. I don't know if you've seen him out, but certainly.
It's better than the movie.
Yes, absolutely.
Not even close.
Richard.
The movie is one of the worst things I've ever seen in a movie theater.
Oh, 1,000%.
It's terrible.
1,000%.
It's painful to sit through. It's not good.
I wanted to ask the director, because I got a chance to sit down with the director for like 40 minutes to talk about Richard Stanley. He did that movie first, and he's the one they cover in the documentary. I wanted to have him for an hour just talking about that experience, and maybe someday I'll be able to do that. But we had to focus on the Nicolas Cage movie with Brendan Meyer. But like, I got like 5-10 minutes in that interview to talk about it, but I wanted more, because the documentary is so weird. He's an unusual cat. Matt, he did for years. He led tours of the like historical tours and artifact tours of the areas where he was living there for like 10 years, man. I can't remember if it was Egypt or I don't think it was New Zealand, but I wonder if it was Egypt or something like that. He just led a lot of tours through that and like teach people. So he walked away from movies for a very, very long time, and then to kind of doing all this stuff that he was doing there to kind of pass the time and make money and pay his bills and whatever. So it's just very, very interesting cat on so many levels. Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah, that's what I'll say.
Yeah.
All right, where are we at? What number are we at? Oh, my 6?
Sure.
So my 6 is the controversial choice, and I know a lot of people are going to be pissed about it that it's this low, but it's the Two Towers.
All right, it's a fun.
Yeah,
Not by much,
that's fine. That's fine. All right, what's your number 5 as we go into the second half of our show?
My 5 is The Wizard of Oz.
That's a punt.
Okay. Just believable. Trust me. This is my top 5. You could tell me any which way on my top 5. Legitimately.
Yeah, 1,000%.
Yeah. All right. What's your 5?
My 5 is Doctor Strange.
Okay. I chalked that up as superhero, so I didn't count it. That's just me personally. Though.
Okay. He's magic. It's magic.
Magic.
Yeah.
Totally. I just was like, it's superheroes, and there's a lot of magic going on.
When you said one per franchise, I just was like, okay, Doctor Strange.
Sure.
If I'm going to choose anybody from those MCU. I mean, we've talked about the film a million times. One of our favorites. Both of us love it. It's in my top 5 of MC, maybe top 10, I guess, now with Avengers Infinity War coming out and Endgame. But certainly it is one
my top 10 for sure.
Yeah, I still defend this film. I know there are a lot of people that put it near the bottom of their list, which I don't understand. Maybe you've never done any. Yeah, right. You're crazy. Maybe you've never done any inner exploration. Maybe you've never done any kind of,
maybe your eyes don't work. I don't know. Maybe you were hungover that day and your brain wasn't processing on all fours. So
I'm going to go with the Matt suggestion there.
It's legit. It's so good.
Yeah, it is so good.
Now, if you want to talk to me about where in the order, okay. But
yeah, right.
Sure. It's top 10. It's like it was unique. It was original. It was engaging. It was tons of great action, gorgeous visuals.
Oh yeah, yeah.
What if Inception? Except they did like crazy cool shit. Okay. And the best hook on how to defeat a villain of anyone in the MCU. It's not a punch. It's not a laser thing. It's not a this. It's not a that. It's basically just. Do you want me to drive you nuts for the rest of your life? Forever, actually. In a loop, we're just going to live through these 10 seconds.
Yeah.
Hey, fuck you. All right, I'll be back in 7 seconds. Hey, fuck you. And just forever, because that's what we're set up. And what a great way to end it.
It is, right? What an incredibly intelligent way to end it, for sure.
Yeah. As opposed to a Green Lantern. It's like, I'm going to green punch it to death. You're like, I don't know if you could do that to this thing.
Or you're just fighting, which a lot of the Marvel complaints were, you're just fighting an alternate version of yourself. Like Killmonger is basically an alternate version of Black Panther. Loki is an alternate version of Thor. So it's just like those were the villains for a long time.
Never thought about it like that before. Are there any others?
Yeah.
Iron Man 2, the Mickey Rourke's is bad Iron Man.
Yeah. Well, so Iron Man 3 too, because when what's his face? Guy Pearce puts on the tricks the extremist thing. He's essentially a machine. His body's a machine to destroy Iron Man. And even in the first Iron Man, right? It's Jeff Bridges in the bigger Iron Man suit. So it's always the counter. It's been for a long time, except the Hulk, though. But then the Hulk they haven't really kind of done much with the Hulk.
Wow. I mean, he's on a super serum and the other dude takes the super serum as well.
Yeah, right. Exactly. So there you go.
We've all looked at Tim Roth and said, hey, you see that 5'7" British guy with potentially scoliosis?
Yeah. He'd be perfect.
What do you think about turning him into a super soldier? Yeah, let's do that. That makes sense.
Yeah, even Captain America, Red Skull, is the guy who's taking the super soldier.
I can't believe I never thought of it like that. Yeah, it is. It's just a binary.
Yeah, it is a complete binary.
Otherwise, superheroes run into a problem of, not everybody can be Hulk. So it's got to seem as though you keep the stakes even keeled.
Yeah.
Like that. Makes sense. Makes all the sense in the world.
It's one of the reasons why I love Joker. Joker has no superpowers. He's just a regular dude who's just nuts, right? He doesn't have like a utility belt. Yeah, he's got little things that he's got, but he's not like, he's not like Batman and shit. So
no. And he's fighting society.
Right. Which is Batman is a symbol of. Exactly.
Well, he doesn't even exist yet.
Right. Okay. Where are we at? That was my number 5. What's your number 4?
So my 4 is the punt from you, Two Towers.
Okay. Yeah, cool.
Yeah, once again, you could sell me on this is the top 2. I just like my top 5. They're all kind of equal to me. I don't know how I rank the top 5 because I genuinely do like all of them pretty much equally. Because I find them all very rewatchable over and over and over again. Even Wizard of Oz, I've seen that a lot of times, and I'm more than happy to, hanging out with some family. Like, you want to throw on some Wizard of Oz? Yeah, let's go for it. It's been a couple of years. It's a great movie. Two Towers is my favorite of the second trilogy. I believe yours, or the first trilogy rather.
Yeah. The Two Towers is my favorite of the 3 for sure.
Is it your favorite overall, or does Hobbit supplant?
The I think the second Hobbit movie is a rival for Two Towers for me, and it depends on the day. Depends, and the Hobbit ones are about to come out in 4K, all 3 of them as a collection in December. So guess what? I'm going to be buying. But but Two Towers. I don't know, dude. I don't know if anything rivals Helm's Deep. That fight at Helm's Deep it's
awesome.
It's just maybe one of the greatest battle scenes ever in the history of film.
The whatever scale miniature it is, because you can see production photos of them like walking around, but it comes up to like the wall is, I think, crotch or waist level-ish type of thing, and then there's the big tower itself of Helm's Deep, and then the sheer scope of it, where you can see that the source material for the overall stories is World War One.
Yep.
That feels like a World War One battle, where you have 2 entrenched forces, and then you're just trying to break through a line. This just happens to be set more of a medieval fair, but it feels like World War One. It's got all the little pieces here and there. I love the dude that runs in with the bomb, and it's new technology to them, so they don't know what to expect. And then suddenly, no one has ever broken the walls of Helm's Deep. You get introduced to new technology, and it crushes your old defense. Just like all the shelling in World War One. They built these massive super forts that could stand all of Napoleonic cannon fire, because that's the biggest the world's ever seen. Fast forward a couple decades. Like, oh yeah, now we're pouring concrete footing for this cannon we're shipping in that fires 115-pound shells at you from 2 miles away. Suck it. So to see that represented, by this guy running in, almost looked like the Big Brother ad from Apple, where the woman runs in with the hammer and goes to throw it through. It's technology crashing through. And just to see this guy running, he's got this fizzing little bomb. Oh, it's so cartoonish, and it's always captured. It just, every time I see it, a little smile on my face. What a great little addition, and a huge explosion. It's a miniature, but it looks so believably real.
Yeah.
Just Weta went from something I'd never heard of to the gold standard.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yep. Agreed, man. But I mean, it keeps your attention. Like the first one I don't like because there's a lot of running across the plains and blah, blah, blah. And the third one at times can get super fucking cheesy, even though, Gandalf and Aragorn coming together for the final battle is pretty cool. But and Erawan getting to stab the Death Eater and whatever, it's all, but to me, the Helm's Deep one, because of the rain and the night, and it seems like they can't defeat them, and the orcs are just coming in like World War Z kind of numbers, and they're doing the best they can. It's incredible to watch. I think it's Peter Jackson's greatest film. It's his greatest film ever in terms of skill and technique.
I'd agree with that.
Visual, his cinematography. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it'd be this, and then maybe number 2 is They Shall Not Grow Old.
Oh yeah,
Never Grow Old.
They Shall Never Grow Old. The documentary. That's
yeah,
dude. Yeah,
it was awesome.
1000%, dude.
Yeah, that was awesome. Although, I would still take Two Towers as number 1.
Yeah.
But because King Kong is no bueno, and his earlier stuff.
Frighteners is good. Frighteners is good.
It's all right. It didn't capture me the way a lot of his later. I never saw Lovely Bones. I heard it wasn't that good.
Lovely Bones is okay. It's not great.
Yeah.
It's okay. Hey, are you dead now? Are you dead? Where's my daughter? It's Mark Wahlberg. Yeah. Where are we at?
So that was my 4. What's your 4?
Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban.
All right, that is my number 3.
Okay, yeah. Like this movie, love this movie, have fun with this movie, enjoy this movie. Cuarón does a fantastic job in this movie. And throughout, I'm just blown away by the potential that this franchise had. And it kind of dropped in Goblet of Fire, and it started picking back up again for me in Order of the Phoenix. And then, of course, in Deathly Hallows Part 2. So there was a lot to. I think Cuarón was the first one to glimpse the possibility of what this franchise was capable of in terms of depth and complexity and drama and true danger and true fear that you see in movies afterwards, in this installment afterwards, from directors who understand what it's capable of. So for that reason alone, it's where it is on my list.
Well, the tonal shift. 2 was a little bit darker than 1, but it was still made for younger audiences. And 3, it gets just the perfect balance of this is going darker.
Mm-hmm.
You need to understand that death is at the end of this.
Yeah.
And that's what he is fighting. But still maintaining the innocence. And it's I think it's also the reason that it ends up being both of ours and most people's favorite of the franchise.
Yep.
Because I think it's the director that is most in control of the tone this movie distinctly needs.
Yeah.
And just finding that balance between the two. But I don't know what else to say about Azkaban. That we haven't covered before. So.
It also gives you a glimpse into the possibility of Radcliffe and Emma Watson and Rupert Grint as actors, right? In the first 2, they're kids and they're child actors. But when you see some of the more adult or mature situations that they find themselves in 3, you really see these kids step up to the plate as young teenage actors and bring the kind of and show you the breadth of their talent at that young age and what's possible, what potential they have once the series is over, this franchise is over, to do work outside of this franchise and be just fine doing so. And all 3 of them have walked separate paths, but all 3 of them have accrued respect for their work after Potter, and this was the first film that showed you what was there, what could be there.
Yeah, they got depth, they got chops.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, as Matt said, chops.
They got chaps.
All right. That was
my 3.
One? So then my 3 is The Wizard of Oz, which is
okay. It was my 5.
Yeah, your 5. This one, Matt, it still holds up. It's a classic for a fucking reason. You can show it to kids nowadays, kids in 100 years from the future, and they'll get it. They'll understand it. They'll feel it. Once again, a film that starts out in some hard situation with a tornado that sends her, and she lands on a witch, and then she meets these munchkins and has to go on this yellow brick road and meets these interesting people in the Scarecrow, the Tin Man, and the Lion. But then the witch is coming after her the whole time, and the flying monkeys and that score, all of it, you sense the dread throughout the movie. No matter how playful these songs are at certain times in the movie, the dread of her death is never far away, no matter how much is going on that looks like she's going to be fine.
Yeah. It's crazy to me that this hasn't come up on more lists. We have not talked about The Wizard of Oz all that much in all these years of doing the show.
It's a good point. Yeah.
I think it's as successful today as it was when it came out. It was at the end, when you see the pivot and you see that the Scarecrow is one of the family friends.
Right.
And the Tin Man, it's like, it's one of those earlier times where they're asking audiences to kind of step beyond. Like the storytelling needs to expand and have depth. And even within this child's movie, ostensibly,
yeah,
you can kind of have that, and it becomes was this all part of her subconscious, or was the magical world real? And the questions that would come up after that, as you walk out, because a tremendous amount that came out at that time is just Mr. Smith Goes to Washington.
Yeah, right.
And you're like, okay, the title tells me Farmer Billy had to go to the blacksmith. Okay, I get it. So was it like a long journey and it wasn't in your town or something? All right.
Right.
So you weren't asking as much of audiences, at least in my understanding. I didn't live at that time.
Right.
So fake news from me.
But the change also, Matt, from black and white to color is so incredible and vibrant and eye-catching, and it works so well for the film. And I think this is 1939, and we're still not even we're still doing black and white movies through the 40s and 50s until finally like the mid 50s, late 50s, when color starts to be something they use a lot. So that as well, right? Is it 1939? Yeah, 1939. So it kind of predates the usage of color and shows you the potential of color. Yet many filmmakers didn't use color through the 40s and into the mid 50s. So for that alone, it deserves a lot of respect as well. Plus the characters, Glinda the Good Witch, the Cowardly Lion, the Tin Man, a Scarecrow, all of them, and the message at the end about it's all there within. Once again, it's all there within you. All the potential is within you. Sometimes you have to realize that it's there. He always had the brain, he always had the heart, he always had the courage, just had to believe that it was there and it would be there for them when they needed it. And same thing with Dorothy. She could always find her way home, and it's that kind of thing. So I love it for that as well. And none of the sequels, have ever come close. And that's why Oz Great and Powerful was number 10 on mine, because it was like, it was a fun movie, but it wasn't,
I mean, I like it.
Magic.
I like Return to Oz.
Yeah, it's fine. Yeah.
I saw it in the theater and it was weird and I liked it for its weirdness and I didn't like it for its weirdness.
Right.
But I like the clockwork figure and the woman that could take her heads off. That scared the shit out of me when I was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
But an interesting idea. Like they were still, maybe I need to watch that again. Maybe it works better as an adult.
Also, as successful as it was, Matt, I'm surprised we haven't seen like 500 remakes. We've seen some remakes, like there have been TV shows or smaller versions of, but we've never seen like a full-on remake of this particular film, no matter how. And that speaks to how untouchable it really is as a classic for a lot of people. And
don't you think too, though, if you remade it, you'd still want to, I would feel, or I would assume you'd feel compelled to do the black and white to color transfer.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Right.
And it wouldn't have the emotional effect it did then, which was revelatory. Whereas now you'd be looking at the black and white going, why are they making the choice to go into black and white?
Yeah.
And then when it gets to color, maybe it would. I don't know. But I mean, in 1939, mind blown.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like it's such a great, I wonder if there was another movie that did that before them and they took the idea or they created it themselves.
No, I think they created it themselves. And the thing about this movie, Matt, if you watch it at a young enough age, it really kind of turns you on to the power of film. The what is capable, because you're not born knowing Scorsese or Coppola or any of that stuff coming out of the womb. You slowly figure out what film is. And when you see something like The Wizard of Oz, then you understand the scope and magnitude on a subconscious level of what's possible with the medium of film, and I think that's another thing that speaks volumes about this movie.
Yeah, it's never come up. I think I was racking my brain. I know we've talked about it once. I couldn't tell you, but beyond that, I was like, man, Wizard of Oz never made. Anyway.
Yeah. All right. Where are we at? You're number 2?
Hey, my deuce.
Okay.
Is The Prestige.
Oh, that's my 1. Wow. All right.
Okay. Once again, my top 5, you can tell me on whatever. And my number 1, you're not going to have. And your number 2, I assume is going to be on your list. I didn't realize it was going to be this high.
Okay. Go ahead.
Yeah. I mean, it's the Hollywood formula of, hey, we got a magic movie coming out. Oh, yeah, we got a magic movie coming out.
Right.
Yeah. You got a volcano movie? we got a better one coming like a month before yours.
The strangest one is
hitting
the strangest one is the Truman Capote one, Matt.
And then McConaughey's Ed TV.
Oh yeah, with Truman Show. Yeah, that's right.
Although I don't think they were as close as Deep Impact and Armageddon.
Yeah, they were like right on top of each other. True.
Yeah. And Volcano and Dante's Peak were right on top of each other.
Good point.
And then these were pretty close.
Yeah. Yep. Agreed.
I don't think they were as close as the others, but anyway, you know, they bring in a bunch of great characters. I love the addition of Nikola Tesla, which should detract from the movie. It's just like a weird out of nowhere. Why the fuck is Nikola Tesla in this?
Yeah.
But the ultimate payoff as to why he is there makes perfect sense. And such a fun, interesting, cool, you know, idea.
Yeah.
It's like one of my favorite things about Hellboy, just bringing in Rasputin. Why not?
Right.
I'm sure it was in the comic book and for the comic book writer to bring it in, but I love that. It's just like, you know what? It fits the vibe of what you're going for here. So bring in Nikola Tesla, you know, to help Hugh Jackman. I don't want to say too much. Can we talk about it? Spoiler. It's like 15 years old at this point, is it not?
Yeah, I think it's
13 years old.
Yeah. Yeah.
To pull off that eventual trick. And then the philosophical questions that then trick leaves you with of, is it worth it? Whose life is this actually? What does this really mean? Good for you, Nolan. You managed to kind of fuck with time still. Another movie under the belt on that one. Just the life extending beyond that timeline type, but not quite the one person is experiencing that time shift, but still fucking with time a little bit.
Yeah.
He does manage to do that a lot, and somehow I don't fault him for it.
He's timey-wimey, man. I know a lot, but some people do. And I think Tenet is where he finally, Tenet is where he finally went too far, man, in my opinion. Yeah.
Yeah, I need a good streaming copy at this point. I can't see it in any theater, so.
Yeah. Theaters are closed down here too, man. It sucks.
Dude, new lockdown, bro.
I know, bro. Man, I respect it, bro, but I don't have
to so do I. You do what you got to do. It sucks.
Yeah, exactly.
But anyway, so The Prestige, what do you got?
Prestige, absolutely loved it. Still one that holds up. I go back and watch it every once in a while. It starts to move up as I get older, near the top of my list of Nolan movies. I think it was number one on our list when we did it. I think it was number one at the time when I put it there. So I just love it, man. I love the acting. I love the way Nolan directs the back and forth, the angles he uses with the camera, the storyline that's being told here, even that the hats, the way he shoots the hats at the beginning, you're just like, what does this mean? It's the mystery of it all, right? And this is when he was right at the beginning of playing around with this idea of time, playing around with this idea of like magic and using film as a medium to trick you into certain things and make you believe one thing or the other. And so those are the things that I go back to and just watch. And it's also like prime Jackman and it's prime Bale, you know. And
it's Bale on the come up.
Yeah, Bale and come up, exactly. And and they're both great and they're still doing great work. And I'm sure Bale will be fantastic in the new Thor movie. But I just, when you're watching it, it's a time capsule movie. And Scarlett Johansson as well, right and fully in her beginning prime. Yeah, all of it just works so well. And when you watch The Illusionist, which I watched for the first time for this show, thinking I might put it on my list, I was like,
it's not near as good. Yeah,
it's got a good cast. Yeah, it's got a good cast, but you're just like, it's not as interesting.
I've seen it twice.
Yeah.
And I went back to watch it a second time, like years later, going, maybe. And then like, nope. Unfortunately. But yeah, Prestige. So your number 2
is Aladdin. The animated Aladdin. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
What you think was my number 2?
Excalibur.
No, because it's not magic to me. That is not necessarily magic to me, but
I haven't seen it. Merlin exists and performs magic in it, I'm assuming.
Yeah, it's a good point, man. I could have put it on my list. Maybe I should. Maybe I'll kick Houdini off and put Excalibur somewhere on my list, but I don't. I see it as I know you're going to think I'm an idiot. You're not going to think I'm a fucking idiot.
What, but it's true life?
As a historical movie. Yeah, I see it more as a historical
No. No, that's okay. If that's historically accurate, then so is Paul Bunyan.
I didn't say historically accurate. I just said
Okay,
it's
a historical movie. Fine. So is Paul Bunyan. So if there's been a movie about Paul Bunyan, that is a historical movie as well.
No, Excalibur is would normally, but I just see it as because he's a king and he's all this. So Merlin is at the beginning, but essentially,
I haven't seen it, so I don't know.
He only performs magic twice, so you could qualify it in that way. But in my opinion, it's not a magic movie. It's a movie about a historical time in England's past. And yeah, it's not King Arthur didn't. A version of King Arthur might have existed. Certainly, historians said that, but not King Arthur himself.
I excluded Aladdin because of my number one. But go ahead and talk about it. I'm going to use the restroom real quick.
Okay, sure. Go ahead. Aladdin, I mean, what can you say? Robin Williams, it's an animated film, phenomenal voiceover work by the late, great Robin Williams. Everybody involved in that film. It still holds up. Even the live action remake I thought was good. But, the magic of the first one is very, very magic of the original, rather, is so difficult to capture. And they do a marvelous job of it in the original film. The animation works. Jafar is interesting. Jasmine is really great. There's so sweet moments on the carpet. Do you trust me? All of that. For me, for those of you watching, is a personal connection because the first girl I ever fell in love with, we went to go see Aladdin in the theater, I think down in Springfield Mall, Virginia. She was great. Her name was Toy, and I said to her that night, "Do you trust me?" And we ended up spending a magical night together and being together for a little while. But she was, and I'll always attach her to that movie, so it has extra resonance for me as well. But putting that aside, the performance of Robin Williams, the way the movie is constructed, the messages of the movie, and the joy and just absolute humor, fully realized, the Robin Williams humor fully realized in a Disney movie works so well when they're down in the cave and they're doing all the things that they're doing. So that's why I love it. And the magic is not typical. It's not wand magic. It's obviously magic because he's a genie, but it's still magic and it still works. And the message is at the end to be yourself. That's the true magic in life. That's what I love about it. And that ending, it's a very sweet ending about, choosing friendship over your personal ideas or your personal life. And so for that way, I think it's fantastic. So, all right. Oh, I mean, sure, your selfish desires is what I mean. Oh, yeah.
My number one is Sword in the Stone.
Oh, okay. Nice.
I didn't include another Disney, film. And I was like, Aladdin was on my side, but I cut it for. Yeah. Once again, my top five. Look, is Prestige a better film overall? Yeah, it is. I'm not gonna qualitatively, but Sword in the Stone's got a ton of magic. I have watched it so many times since I was a kid. I love it. It's my favorite of all the King Arthurs.
Yeah.
And it's got magic. You got a wizard. You got a witch. You got a little kid. Younger squire trying some magic. It's magic galore. You got tunes. You got magical tunes. There's magic all over, baby. Sword in the Stone is my numero uno. Well, I didn't think you'd have it.
No, that has more magic than Excalibur, dude. So I think that totally qualifies in my mind.
Oh, it's pure. It's all about the magic. It's about Merlin.
Yep.
Eventually this kid, spoiler alert, becomes King Arthur, but you don't realize that until much later on in the movie. Yeah. But yeah, they turn themselves into fish and into squirrels. And he has a wizarding or magic off against that witch where they turn, one's a dragon, another's a porcupine, then it turns into an anteater versus a snake versus it's got all the whimsy and whatnot, but it still has the dark overtones. So when there's snakes, there's a muskie or a northern pike or whatever that is trying to kill them. Right. Big, huge razor shaw barracuda-like teeth. Yeah. And they're birds, and there's an eagle that's trying to kill them. And there's squirrels, and there's always the peril of you think the grass is greener type of thing. That's what Merlin's trying to teach him. Yeah. Because he knows, this guy's going to be king one day. Mm-hmm. And Archimedes just ain't having it.
I got to watch this movie. I've never seen it, Matt.
You never seen it?
I've never seen Sword in the Stone.
So good. For a Disney movie from that time, it blows me away that it doesn't have a princess. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And everything else that was wildly successful for them by and large had a princess at that time. Right. Still does. That's the formula now to this day. But it was
even Robin Hood has the Maid Marian princess type character. So
But Robin Hood is nowhere near as vaunted as Cinderella, Sleeping Beauty,
True.
Snow White.
Yeah.
those are their mountaintops, whereas Robin Hood's fun, even though I think it's better. And Jungle Book, I think, is better.
Yeah.
Just as an overall more enjoyable for me, as a boy, as a kid.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not to say I didn't love those. I still love those, but
yeah,
I found all those others better overall movies.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, Sword in the Stone is my numero uno.
I respect it, man. Let me grab the bongos. Well, that's our separate lists, and now we're going to combine it together to make the show's top 10 movies about magic list. Let me grab the bongos before we do that.
All right. So it seemed only logical that The Prestige, number one, and some combination of Azkaban, Two Towers, Wizard of Oz, and then we'll have to do The Sword in the Stone, and then Aladdin, Square Throwdown. We both have Willow, and that is it.
Okay.
All right. So I think Prestige won.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Where'd you have Azkaban?
4.
4, right? So Prisoner of Azkaban probably ends up at number 2 then.
Okay.
And we have Wizard of Oz.
Yeah,
3, 5.
Yeah.
Two Towers was 4, 6. So I'd say Wizard of Oz next.
Okay. What, and then Two Towers?
Two Towers. And then I would say Sword in the Stone and Aladdin.
Yeah, Sword and Stone is 1 for you, right? So Aladdin for me too. Okay, yeah, makes sense.
Let's see. We both have Willow, and that is it.
Okay. Where are we at right now, number-wise?
We're at number 7. So we got to put in number 7. So do we want Willow at 7?
Yeah, we might as well put Willow at 7 since it's down in our bottom areas anyway.
All right, I got my 6. What's your next highest?
Doctor Strange at 5.
All right, Doctor Strange. You got a 6?
I had Two Towers, so 6 is yours.
All right, Kubo. What's your next highest?
Onward at 8.
Okay, I got Kubo at 7.
Okay.
All right, done.
Boom. All right, here we go. The top 10 movies about magic. Yeah. At number 10.
Spirited Away.
At number 9.
Kubo and the Two Strings.
At number 8.
Doctor Strange.
At number 7.
Willow.
At number 6.
Aladdin.
At number 5.
Sword in the Stone.
At number 4.
The Two Towers.
At number 3.
The Wizard of Oz.
At number 2.
Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban.
And our number 1 movie about magic is
The Prestige.
That's right, The Prestige. Great stuff. A lot of great movies to talk about. As Matt pointed out, great to dive into Wizard of Oz a little bit when we haven't done that. That's the point of these lists now. We try to kind of focus on movies we haven't talked about or haven't counted down. Those of you who've been with us for this ride for 5 years, you've heard us talk about some of these films over and over and over again. Those of you who are newer fans can go back and listen to us talk about some of these other films in our earlier shows, but we try to kind of mix in some of the more newer stuff or some of those films we haven't talked about before. And certainly we got that done today, I hope.
Damn straight. So thank you to everybody that tuned in this week. We appreciate it. If you want to do us a favor, you could tell a friend about the show. That would help immensely. Otherwise, you can follow me anywhere at Matt Nost or check out Settle the Score. And if you feel like being a patron, we sure would genuinely appreciate it. And if you'd like to do that, head over to patreon.com/the top 10 with the number 10. And whatever you could do would mean the world to us. But if you can't, and you just want to listen, well, thank you for that as well.
Absolutely. Yeah. If you can't be a patron, liking the video, sharing the video, and leaving a comment below, a positive comment below, is always good for us, or a constructively critical comment. That's always good too. Down there, it elevates it. And look, our channel is monetized now. So you guys coming to like our videos, leave comments on our videos, that increases our ability to get a little bit of revenue as well from that side. So that'd be great too. So if you've been a fan of ours for a while, take 30 minutes, go into there and just like kind of watch a minute of each of those videos. Gives us a view, hit a like, leave a comment, what have you.
Game the system, baby.
Yeah, I mean, whatever works. That's the way you got to look at it. So, and thanks to everybody who's been supporting the show for so long and being our patron as well. And please come aboard. Now's the time when we need you the most, as we're starting to expand and build more things out, doing more shows like Golden Ticket. We want to keep the Top 10 brand going. And you guys spreading the love and bringing new people in, or you guys have been on the fence about supporting the show as a patron, now's the time to come and do it to get us, push us further and further down the road to become, something that people turn to enjoy their day. And so many of you have told us how we've entertained you during this COVID time. So we can't thank you enough for letting us do that. So you can follow me at The Rocha Says on Twitter and on Instagram. And if you want to come find our YouTube channel, just type in the Top 10 and either one of our names or both our names, it should come up, and then go and subscribe to that as well, so you know when we drop the new videos on there. And if you don't mind going to my YouTube channel as well, youtube.com/John Rocha Says, and see all the stuff we got going on there. That's it for me, Matt. Anything else?
I don't believe so. Everybody, when you're hearing this, we hope you had a good holiday here if you're here in the States, and stay safe out there. Wear your masks, wash those hands, and let's get through this second wave here stateside as quickly as we can. Enjoy your holidays. Adios.